This little girl's parents had no idea that they were living across the street from a monster, and by the time they found out, it was way too late. In 1994, Richard and Maureen Kanka were living in a quiet neighborhood in New Jersey, where they were raising their three children, the youngest being 7-year-old Megan Kanka. It was July 29th at about 6:30 p.m. when Megan decided she was going to go out and play with one of her friends from the neighborhood. And as they were out and about riding their bikes, they ran into the neighbor across the street from the Kankas, which was 33-year-old Jesse Temidakis. He was out front of his house cleaning his boat, and he started a conversation with the girls. As it got later that night, Megan was still not home, and so her mom Maureen was growing more worried by the minute. So her first instinct was to go and look for Megan, and she was asking around to neighbors if anyone had seen her. So when she got to Jesse and asked if he had seen her, he did say yes, and explained that he talked to the girls while he was cleaning his boat. At 8 p.m. that night, Megan was reported missing, and 500 law enforcement officers started a giant search for her. There were even more volunteers as well. So they started going around the neighborhood, passing out flyers, and asking anybody if they had seen Megan or had any information. As they were canvassing the area, Jesse actually went to the Kanka's home and asked if he could help pass out flyers. Now, of course they said yes, because they weren't thinking that this man had done anything to their daughter. As police canvassed the area, they were talking to all the neighbors, asking if they had seen Megan or had any information. Now, when they got to Jesse, he told them that yes, he did see Megan, and that was at 2:30 p.m. And right away, it was fishy, because Jesse had told Megan's mom, Maureen, that he had seen Megan a lot later than 2:30. So his story changed, and police were already suspicious of this man. After this odd interaction, police asked to search Jesse's home, which he did agree to. And as they got there, his demeanor changed, and he became very nervous and very shaky. So police knew that they were going in the right direction. At this point, Jesse was in police custody at the station, where he gave a third story that was different than the first two. So police went and searched his truck, and there they found a black toy box. They didn't find anything in it, but then they went to his garbage cans out front. And in there, they found a rope that was tied that had dried blood on it, and they found little shreds of pants, and they believed that these pants were belonging to a child. Jesse was very quick to admitting what he had done to Megan, and that was SAing her. And he started to explain how he did this. He had said that he watched Megan for quite some time and was kind of waiting for the opportunity. And the way he did this was by telling her that he had a puppy in the house, and that's how he lured her inside. Jesse had said once he got Megan into his house, he pushed her into his bedroom, where he then SA'd her. Now, at this point, she is kicking, screaming, and trying to fight back. So Jesse took a belt and tried to strangle Megan. Now, in this struggle, she ended up biting his hand, and then fell and hit her head on the dresser. And she started bleeding a lot, so Jesse panicked and grabbed a plastic bag and put it over her head so that the blood wouldn't get onto the carpet. After this, he ended up killing Megan and putting her, this is really hard to talk about, putting her body into that black toy box that police found in his truck, and brought her to a heavily weeded area where he then SA'd her a third time. Jesse said that the reason he had to kill Megan was because he was afraid that she was going to go home and tell her mother. So he was basically afraid that he would get in trouble. Now, during his court hearings, he made this statement. He said, "Okay, I am sorry for what I've done to Megan. I pray for her and her family every day. I have to live with this and what I've done for the rest of my life," which I think is the most pathetic statement that you could give to somebody like Megan's parents, who also have to live with this for the rest of their lives in a very different way, because Megan was a victim and so were her parents. I can't with this man. At the time of this case in 1994, there was no law stating that a registered sex offender had to inform the people that they lived around that they were on the registry. And had Megan's parents known that they were living right across the street from a monster, they would not have moved into that home. Now, Jesse had previously spent 6 years in prison for assaulting another child. And it was at that point when Megan's mom, Maureen, decided to start a petition. She got 400,000 signatures, and then 89 days later, Megan's Law was passed in New Jersey, which was exactly what I had just said, that a registered sex offender had to inform the people that they lived around that they were on the registry. After all of this, Jesse ended up getting life in prison with no possibility of parole, as he should.